Hey everybody, this week's episode of the R&R Show is brought to you by Fun Again Games. And hello, Ruel, how are you doing?
I am wonderful, my friend. How are you doing, Richard?
I'm doing okay. I have to admit, after the pre-show, which was a very raucous one, lots of stuff happening, I'm a little overheated. I'm actually wearing 2 layers of shirts. I should have stripped down a little bit, and now we're live and it's too late, so I'm just going to sweat my way through this top 10.
Oh my gosh, the sacrifices we make to make this show happen.
Yep, so, if you do a close-up, you might start seeing beads of sweat popping up here, but that's okay. That's okay. Well, this shirt was due for washing anyway, quite frankly.
Okay. And, if it does, you start to overheat, we can totally take a break and edit this out later. If you need to change shirts or whatever, feel free to do that. I will... We can do that if necessary.
All right, well, the secret code for that is it's getting hot in here. Let's take off all our clothes.
Oh, my gosh. Nothing but the finest references and all of the
course,
internet, folks. Yes, that's... that
Finger on the pulse, as always. Yes. That's me.
Love it. Yeah.
Well, that's not the only secret word folks should listen to, because this week, folks, in honor of our sponsor, Fun Again Games, we will be giving away a $50 gift certificate that anybody can use. It will help cover shipping and all the rest of it. So, since we're about to talk about 10 games that we are very, very excited about that we found on the Fun Again website, some new, some old, some borrowed, some blue, who knows, you might be a winner and find it a little bit easier to pick some of them up. But Ruel, how do they win that? What is this secret word I'm talking about?
The secret word for this week's show is fetch. F-E-T-C-H, like fetch for a dog or whatever. Folks, you're going to watch the show and listen to us, talk about these great games that we're going to be, chatting about. And one of us is going to say the word fetch during a game. And what you want to do is in an email to contest@rahdo.com, you will enter the name of the game that we're talking about. Not fetch. We already know the secret word. Tell us the game that we're talking about. And you'll be entered into the drawing for a $50 gift card from our sponsor, Fun Again Games.
Yep. Great. Okay, cool. So, and I think that's it. Otherwise, we're ready to get going. Starting our top 10 countdown, I think you're coming in first. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're going to jump right into it. So these are the top 10 games we're excited about right now, folks. And the one for me that I'm going to start off our list is one called Lost Ones at number 10. This is a game that just came out from Greenbrier Games, designer Gordon Alford. I'm excited about this one because it's a choose-your-own-adventure style game. So a lot of narrative, a lot of story. I love those type of books when I was a kid, and I love the fact that you can play. There's so many games like this now that you can play and get immersed in a world. This one, you and your fellow players, it's a co-op game. You're kidnapped kids in the other world, right, with a bunch of fae and everything else. But then there's this war going on, so there's a distraction now, so you can escape. And that's what you're doing. You're using tiles to go on. You go on different tiles on this map, and then they're going to give you encounters. And basically, you're going to read stories and try to resolve these actions and everything else. And as you can see, I don't know. Yeah, you have the art. The art is what drew me in.
Okay, I was going to ask. What
beautiful.
Push this over the top for you. It does look gorgeous.
Beautiful art. Like I want to go to this world. I want to experience it. And this type of game, it's a wonderful. It looks like perfect family type game that you can play. And this is something Michelle and I would definitely get to the table. Cooperative gaming. So I know that you and Jen would be interested in. As you can see there, you're going to explore, take actions every turn, and try to escape this world that you're lost in. And that's why it's our number 10 that we're excited about. Lost Ones.
Cool. Yeah, I think if people would like to know a little bit more about it, I'm pretty sure I saw that Monique and Naveen, Before You Play, they did an actual run-through of this. So if you haven't checked them out, they are fantastic. And after you're done with us today, you can go check them out and learn a little bit more about our number 10 Lost Ones. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, that one, I totally agree. Looks very, very pretty. Don't know much more about it, but our number 9, I know this one very well. I've played it. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love it to pieces. It is Endangered. And this game is so fantastic. One of the best cooperative games new cooperative games that have come out in years. And not only is the cooperation really good, where we are all activists working to save endangered species around the world, but we are also and trying to manipulate the board. We talked about this in the pre-show a little bit, different ways that the pandemic style formula has been brought to different themes. It works so brilliantly here. And the base game comes with 2 different animals you're trying to save. Each of the animals have different behaviors that you're trying to work with and keep them alive in their natural habitat. And that's what you're doing moment to moment, turn to turn. But you also have a bigger picture item of trying to work with the UN and convince them to create international law to save these. So you've got this big long-term strategic element you're dealing with while also focusing on the little stuff. And it's absolutely fantastic. I just hit the wrong button. Oopsie doops. Forget that, folks. And another thing that is very, very impressive about it is the expansion that has already come out for it that adds, if I recall correctly, 6 additional. And so one of the sharpest, smartest worker placement games. It's a combination of cards that have all kinds of special powers that are actual worker placement spots that players are using, rolling their personal dice every round. It's got a lot of stuff going on. You can watch my run through. And the thing that prompted me to put it on the list, I don't know, folks, if you were paying much attention at the beginning of the show when I flashed our sponsored by Fun Again. This game is on sale from Fun Again right now. If I recall correctly, it's at $36. And it's pretty much sold out everywhere. And that's a really, really good price for it. And honestly, I just don't think this game gets enough attention. It's, like I said, one of the smartest designs that co-op has had in years. And it's also got a really strong, empowering and uplifting message. And then just really sharp, fun gameplay too. I cannot recommend highly enough number 9, Endangered.
Yeah, I got to play this recently, and you're right. The theme really comes out in this game. It's a really cool theme, and it is. I mean, it's very, very unique, different, a nice take on worker placement, and I'm looking forward to playing it again. My buddy Patrick has a copy, so I'm gonna have to hit him up again to play it. And let's move on now. We've got our number 8 game coming up right up here. Number 8. Speaking of beautiful games and worker placement, Tenpenny Parks.
Yes.
This one just came out from Thunderworks Games. First-time designer, Nate Leonard, and as you can tell right there, you're sharing one of our favorite artists, Vincent Dutray.
Yep.
He's done the art for this. It's a worker placement game. You're building like an amusement park at the turn of the century using worker placement. You've got some set collection as well. And what I really like about it is the tile placement of this game. It's sort of reminds me of Barren Park, but they have this really interesting twist where your tiles cannot be orthogonally adjacent to each other. They can only be diagonally adjacent. So that really changes things up. Yeah, Rahdo, you got to check this one out. It's really interesting. And the first time I played it wrong. I was like, I put all my tiles next to each other, but then I realized, that's totally wrong. So the diagonal placement really messes with you. I like that a lot. The components are outstanding. The art, of course, is beautiful. You can see the carousel there. That carousel is actually 3D. You're going to be able to turn it around. It's going to change the dynamics of pricing, the economics of buying certain parts for your park. And it's quick. It's only 5 rounds, so you're going to knock this game out. I've played a 2-player game in about 30 minutes.
Wow.
With Teach, it's about 40 minutes. It's wonderful, streamlined, great entry game. But I would say it's maybe a slightly more Gateway Plus game, so a little more than you would expect for a Gateway game. But I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites so far this year, and that is Tenpenny Parks.
You're right. I am super excited about this. This made my short list. By the way, folks, did you know we actually stream this show every Tuesday live in front of a Twitch audience? And after we're done with the show and we get back to interacting with the audience, doing back and forth stuff, we'll talk about the other games that just missed our list. And this is one that just missed my list because I haven't played it yet, but oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And now you just pushed over the top. That idea of a tile layer where they can't go next to each other, that's super cool.
It is really neat, and a really good solo variant within the rules as well, so that you can solo this game as well. So yeah, highly recommend, and I'm excited about this one. All right,
I am too. I am very much now too. Okay, cool. All right, well, that was number 8, correct? Let's move on to number 7. I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit
boy.
because it's kind of like it's a multi-entry. It is number 7, Terra Mystica, the big box, and or depending on your predilections, Terra Mystica, the Automa solo box. This is what I'm very excited about. The Automa solo box. Let me tell you how excited I am, Ruel. I recently bought this from Fun Again Games. It just showed up the other day. I ordered this direct from Fun Again because Terra Mystica is a brilliant, one of the heavier games on the Euro market and very well loved. And, Jen and I, we played it a billion years ago and thought it was very, very good too. But it just, as a 2-player game, it just didn't really quite work. It didn't draw us in as much as we would have liked because they really didn't do any player scaling. It was a gigantic world and, you know what, I'll just stay on my side of the world, you'll stay on your side of the world. And a lot of the really interesting elements, because a big part about this game is, when I claim territory, I want to claim it next to you. But maybe you want to stay away from me, not because I want to take you over, but because you get benefits for building adjacent to other people. And in a 2-player game, it just didn't happen very much. Or as much as we would have liked. Although everything else about the game, the way you level up your empire, and everybody gets their own unique empire based on different fantasy races that have wildly different strategies and all of that. So, at the time, I thought it was brilliant and thought, well, yeah, but not really for 2 players. Cut forward, this must be like 10 years ago I covered this. Recently, the Automa expansion with Automa rules from Automa Factory. Morten Peterson, the best in the business at making solo, has now made a solo mode for this. And so I must have it. And now to take a step back from where I was when I was saying I was cheating, I was going to just mention the solo box. I was very excited about that. But then I saw they've also got the Terra Mystica big box, which is Terra Mystica plus Fire and Ice, plus Merchants of the Sea, plus the Automa. So you've got everything. Now, if you're like me and you already had your hands on a copy of Terra Mystica, I just needed the Automa because I really wanted to try that. But man, if this turns out to be as good as I hope it is, I'm going to be pretty upset that I didn't just go ahead and buy the big box and get everything all at once. We will see. But wow. Yeah, Terra Mystica has been a monster. It's been in the top 100 of Board Game Geek forever with good reason. You can watch my run through I did years ago. It's so smart. There are so deep, so crunchy, so many layer upon layer upon layer, plus infinite replayability with all the different asymmetric races. But I'm very excited now, either because you don't have it, in which case maybe big box is the way to go, or if you do have it, get that Automa if you want to try a lower or solo player count game. Can't wait.
Wow. You may have just cost me about $100 right now because seeing that big box, I saw the big box when we were doing our research, before the show. And I was like, okay, cool. I love Terra Mystica. I don't know if I need the big box because my friends, they have the copy that we play in my play group. But now with the Automa, I had no idea I had an Automa. Now that I know, it's like...
And again, not just any Automa. There's a lot of publishers putting out. And don't get me wrong, generally speaking, they're done very well. But nobody does it better than Automa Factory. And they don't put out very many because they're so in demand and they've got such a backlog. So anytime they put something out, I must have it. Especially when it's designed so that it can be integrated into 2-player as well.
Yeah.
And probably even more, I assume. I haven't looked yet. It's still in shrink. I'm very excited.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that I'm gonna have to look into that big box. Darn it. That's a good thing. It's all good. Let's move. Great number 7. Let's move on to our number 6.
Okay.
It is a game that I know we both love and enjoy. Calico. I actually found this one on the Ding and Dent list, so you can find this for a real. Come on, folks. $26 for Calico. One of the premier, in my opinion, tile laying games out there. You're building a beautiful quilt for the kitty cats to rest upon. But it's so simple yet so brain burning. We've talked about this before. It's so much more than you think it's going to be. You have different goals that you're going to try to complete, and yet those goals are going to bump heads with each other. So, do I do this for this one, or no, I want to complete this one instead. I love this game. It's by, oh gosh, now I forgot the designer's name. It just flew right out of my head. But designer, I think it's Kevin Russ.
I believe that's correct. Yes, I believe so.
He's done some really great tile laying games such as, and it flew out of my mind again, the Overboss, that one. The 8-bit one, wonderful game.
As I recall, he was also the developer on Cascadia.
Cascadia, yeah, he was one of the developers as well.
I think that's correct, yes.
Yeah, which is another fantastic. He's got his pulse on the cutting edge of tile laying games, and that's why it's our number 6, Calico.
Cool. Yeah, one of the absolute best. And I was wondering, why is Calico there? But then I scrolled down a little bit and I saw, Ding and Dent. Ding and Dent. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's not for everybody, of course. I totally understand if you need to have something pristine. But yeah, any day of the week, I will happily take $5 to $10 off to because I don't play the box. I play what's in the box.
That's the thing, and like I've got plenty of games that I've gotten ding and dents or used or whatever. As long as the pieces inside the box are fine, like I want the beautiful box, sure, but if it's got a little ding or dent on it, I'm like you said, you're not playing the box. It's all about the stuff inside. So
well, number 6, Calico, especially if you get the ding and dent. But that's a beautiful segue to our number 5, Zapotec, which I know you played. I know you love as much as me. But here's the deal, Ruel. Zapotec Ding and Dent.
Oh my gosh. That's almost half off.
Yes. It's incredible. And this is a new hotness one. I mean, to be fair, Calico's been around, I think, now for a couple of years. Zapotec is out this year. So to be able to get a brand new game from one of the best publishers in the business, Board and Dice, at $30.99, if again you don't mind a little bit, just a little bit of a banged up box, how can you say no? Well, let me tell you about the game. And I know you've played it too, Rel. I mean, we've talked about it before. You love it as much as me. This is admittedly, a dry, dusty Euro from Board and Dice, set in the, I forget which Central or South American empire it was, whether it was Incan or Mayan.
Right. I want to say Mayan, but I'm not 100% sure.
But the interesting thing is, Board and Dice, they are always one step ahead of everybody else in the industry, because when they do this, they actually bring on cultural consultants. They actually give them credits in their manuals, and Zapotec is no exception. So they always do a wonderful job, or they have now for several years, really respectfully treating the subject matter. Again, that's another way that they are ahead of the curve of the rest of the industry. But all that aside, this is a brilliant game because this has the same kind of really intense, crunchy, Euro-style gameplay of a Teotihuacan or a Tekhenu or a Tzolk'in the Mayan calendar, but it plays in a fraction of the time. This is almost a filler game. You can get a full game of this, 2-player anyway, in like less than 30 minutes. And yet, from start to finish, just be racked with really tough, interesting tension and deep, crunchy decisions. Because we are actually trying to build up, all kinds of different facets of the society in different areas around the board. But when we grab these tiles, they come over here onto our own special little board, and we have this. Probably reminds me more than anything else of the programming game in Black Angel, because you're putting these tiles down and you want to put them in rows or columns so that you can activate multiples at once, which is a really fun, satisfying thing. So you've got that fun, satisfying puzzle. You've got the grabbing terrain really quick before other people get it, but it's all driven by an event card system where the cards that come out every turn tell you, well, here's where you could build. Are you really going to want to do this? Are you going to try and pay a little bit more to build somewhere else? And on top of that, it has really, really cool little multi-stage plastic pyramids. It just looks so neat as they get built. And if all that weren't enough, the interesting thing about the pyramids is, I could start building this pyramid, but as soon as I start it, Ruel is very incentivized to keep building, to share in the prosperity that comes from it. And I want him to, because I want to build the top level, but I can't until somebody builds the middle level, that kind of stuff. So Zapotec is brilliant. You can watch my run through. I think, have you covered it as well on your channel?
I have. I did a 2-player game with my buddy Daryl. We loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Absolutely fantastic. And like I said, right now, folks, it's there as a ding and dent. It won't be there for long. That is number 5, Zapotec.
Yeah. I'm not even going to say much about it because you covered it all. It's a wonderful game. One of my favorites so far this year. And it's funny. We segued from Calico to Zapotec. We're gonna do another segue, which is like the perfect segue.
All right.
From Zapotec to our number 4, Founders of Teotihuacan.
There you go.
Another game from Board and Dice. And I don't know if this is like a trend that's been happening, but I love the fact that games are coming out that can play in 90 minutes or less, yet give you a really full, rich experience with all of the decision points and You know, I love this game. It's a tile laying game with some worker placement, but they do this really cool thing in the worker placement where you can have different strengths of your workers, right?
Yes.
You see the little disc there. If you go there, place one disc, you can do it for a strength of 1, which will let you select one piece. But then if you do it on a second disc, or you can place another disc up to 4, then it'll give you a chance to get the bigger pieces onto your pyramid. So this is like a standalone prequel to Teotihuacan, where you're building the pyramid. And I love the player board where you have an architect that you're going to go around the board.
Yes.
And that architect only allows you to build in certain spots, and you have to time it just right, because you're going to want to build. A lot of times I wanted to build where my architect wasn't looking. So you need to time it out just right, gather the resources, and eventually, place those beautiful polyominoes there. Michelle and I like this a lot. And I was, this is definitely not a gateway game. And this is, I didn't think Michelle, she'd be really into it. She absolutely loved it. And so for her to say something like that, I was so thrilled, because it's going to be staying in our collection for a long, long time. And right now on Fun Again, I mean, it's not a ding and dong, but you can get a pretty good chunk off. And this is a brand new hot game, folks. I mean, look at that, $15 off.
Yep.
35.99. So that's our number 4, founders of Teotihuacan.
Yeah, it's interesting. As a parallel to what's mentioned earlier, Tenpenny Parks, which has the polyomino tile laying, but that idea that you can't put them directly next to each other. The Teotihuacan has kind of thing. You're not limited like that, but you want to keep them separated, because when you put them down, you surround them by all the resources that you will use to build stuff later.
Yes.
So you're incentivized. You want to build tight and compact and get the most use of space, but you want to spread them all out so you have room for all your resources. It's a brilliant game. Another one that made my short list. Just missed my list for this thing. An excellent choice. I'm glad you got it on there. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Cool. Well, let's see. I think your number 10, Lost Ones, was one you haven't played yet, but you were just drawn in and you have to try it. This is mine. My number 3 on our list, Prehistories. Oh my gosh, I have to play this game. Oh my gosh, I have to play this game so bad, Ruel. And you want to know why? Do you want to know why?
I think I know why, but why?
Let me tell you why. It's a French name. One of the co-designers of Prehistory is the designer of Welcome to.
Yes.
Yep.
Is it Benoit Turpin?
That sounds right. Yes, I believe it was Benny, as his friends call him. No doubt.
Benny,
I'm sure nobody calls him Benny. But he is the designer for this. And I mean, I looked at it and I thought, okay, this looks attractive. And again, it's another polyomino tile layer. It's set in prehistory. You're trying to get all the different animals you're hunting in there tight, dealing with all that kind of stuff. It has a really nice, bright, colorful look. But honestly, I started, reading a bit more about the gameplay here and how all the different systems are. But then when I saw, from the designer of Welcome to, and more recently, Welcome to the Moon, which made my top 10 of 2021. It's so amazing. I think it was my number 3 best game of the year. It's like, okay, no choice about it. This is a sight unseen. This designer joins my short list of designers who, based on what they've done so far, I have to try it out. What is it? Like I said, every round we're bidding simultaneously and secretly to decide what hunts. Those hunts form our polyomino tiles that we're doing tile laying on. I have to give it a try. I have to play this because Welcome to is so amazing. And so Prehistory comes in at number 3.
Yeah, I know the name, and I saw that on the box, and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to check that one out as well. And actually, it was on my short list as well, but it was a little higher on yours. So I'm so glad that it's on there. Awesome. Okay, let's move on to the top 2 here, folks. We got number 2 coming up.
There you go.
This one, I know I absolutely adore this game, and I'm glad that it's available now. Dice Miner.
Yep.
Folks, this game has been in and out of print since it was released last year, and I love this game. You are playing as dwarves, going into the mountain to get treasures, and you're doing that through, it's a mountain full of dice. I mean, literally a 3D mountain of dice that you're going to take from the mountain, and there's certain restrictions you can do, and then you're going to roll them at certain points, and you're trying to collect sets of 1 through 5, Yahtzee style. But there are also gems and also magic, which the magical items let you re-roll, and then you have to face the dangers like the dragons and the rocks falling down. I forgot, the avalanches or whatever. So you need to have tools to fight those off. Oh my gosh, everything about this game is perfect. I love it. It plays in about 20 minutes. It's actually, I think I might enjoy it more at 2 players than multiplayer. We actually played at Dice Tower West You
and I
and
we played it a few times. And
yeah, we played it with
definitely made me a convert.
Dwayne of Blackboard Gaming and also other friends. And I just think it's such a great dice drafting game. I mean, basically, you're going in here in this mountain, you're going to fetch all these dice and put it in front of you in your little tableau, and then you're going to score them every round. You play 3 rounds, and it's over before you know it, and you want to play it again. That's how I look at it, and that's why it's our number 2 dice miner.
Excellent choice. Like I said, yes, you brought it, you carried it with you everywhere. You played it with probably half of the convention at Dice Tower West, and you pretty much made all of us converts to it. And you're right. It has actually gone through, I think, a few print runs now, so it tends to sell out fast. Fun Again just got another shipment. It's a low-cost game with a very, very high fun factor. Remember how I was saying that I had just put an order in for Fun Again to get this? Look what else was in my order.
Yes!
I had to have it. When I saw they had it, I had to have it.
Oh, I'm excited for you haven't played it yet with Jen, right?
No. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully, maybe this weekend.
I hope y'all like it as much as I do. I'm sure you will, but I hope y'all like it. Oh, that's great. Great. Yes.
Good call. Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, our number 1 of the week, honestly, I don't think might have made my number 1, except as I was setting up the show today, and I remember, folks, at the beginning when I said this week's episode sponsored by Fun Again Games, and I put I put the initial thing. Every time we put those up, Fun Again sends me a new one every month. So they, what's going on that's special? And when I saw that they have Snowdonia, the Deluxe Master Set, for, where is it? Hold on. Oh, I should have had this ready. Snowdonia. There we go. Let me just bring this up on screen right now. Of course, it's taking forever. Obviously, there it is. They have it at a low price of $64.99. That is ridiculous.
Wow.
Here's the deal. I have wanted this forever. But I already own probably 85% of all things Snowdonia, because I have a first edition Snowdonia, and I have picked up every little expansion that has come out over the years. There's a couple I'm still missing, but the thing about the Snowdonia Deluxe Master Set is it's got everything. And then on top of that, it's got some stuff that I believe has never been printed anywhere else anyway. And right now, they've got it down to basically the price of a regular game. But this game, the box doesn't really do it credit. This is one of those ginormous boxes that's like twice the width of a normal Ticket to Ride size box, because there's so much stuff in there. Everything's been deluxeified, new art for the board, multiple boards, silk screened meeples for the worker placement, cool fancy trays for folks who like that kind of stuff that are custom made. It's a brilliant, beautiful presentation of a decade's worth of tons of content for what is one of the greatest worker placement games of all time. This came out in 2012, which many people regard as the greatest year ever in modern board gaming because of some of the really big hitters. And this made my top 10 of that year. And it still sits as one of Jen's and my favorites of all time. And if you get this deluxe set, you will have... this could be half your library. You have so much stuff. And all of that aside, you can go watch my old run-through for it. Oh my gosh, the worker placement gameplay of Snowdonia is some of the best we've ever seen. It's very simple, incredibly tight. There's very few options you have. You want to do all of them. People are always blocking you. And then on top of that, an event-driven system that is smart enough to let you see what's coming 2 or 3 turns in advance. It's based on the weather. Oh, it's going to be sunny next round, and then it's going to be rainy in round 3. I need to be planning long-term based on the weather. And then on top of that, this is a game where we're trying to basically clear rubble and lay track for the Snowdonia line in Wales. And if players spend too much time just dinking around doing goods conversions or whatnot, the game will play itself, because events come up that there is a third active player who will come and say, oh, well, nobody else is going to clear this rubble. We'll do it. So the game itself puts players under pressure to move as fast as they can in an incredibly tense and wonderful worker placement game. And geez Louise, the price on this, the Deluxe Master Set, literally cannot be beat. Absolutely incredible. Again, sold out everywhere unless you want to go buy it secondhand in the market where it's going to cost you like $120, $130, or you can get it now. My number 1, Snowdonia, the Deluxe Master Set.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So this with Terra Mystica, it's going to be an expensive.
I apologize.
Great choice. Wow. I can see why we were so excited about today's show. There was some fantastic stuff here.
Cool.
Well done.
Well, we are done. And folks, did you hear Ruel or myself say the secret word, fetch? If so, you know what to do. Whatever game we were talking about at that point, send that as the subject to contest@rahdo.com, and you will be put in a drawing. Now, you have until, let me pull my calendar, until May 31st, 2022. You have basically until like 11 a.m. PST on that day. So if it is after that time, if it is, the year 2097, don't bother entering. You missed the window, I'm afraid. But, yep. And also, folks, if you just can't find either of us saying the secret word, well, there are ways that you can find out either by subscribing to the show on Twitch or backing the show on Patreon. You can just reach out and I'll tell you exactly where the secret word is if you're having a hard time finding it. But either way, get those entries in by the 31st, and one of you will win a $50 gift certificate, which this week could buy you a few really good deals, I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Especially those ding and dents. You got to jump on those quick, folks.
Oh yeah.
Those things tend to go real fast.
Okay, then I believe, Ruel, we are done. Do you have any closing words for the nice people?
Closing words is, spend wisely, friends, and hopefully we helped your decision making during the show today.
Oh, great. Well, I just want to say thank you, Ruel, for finding some really good ones. Thank you, folks, for watching. And in closing, of course, thanks to Fun Again Games. Have a very, very nice day, everybody. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.